Good morning, YouTube. This is Walter Blackwood, and welcome to part 3 of 7 of the first series of Living Out Victory Every Day. We've used the term life-controlling problems quite a bit already in this series, and last week we put a loose definition in place describing 4 basic things that can become life-controlling problems. Those things we talked about were performance, acceptance, judgment, and negative attention. If you missed that episode, pause this video, go back and watch that one so you're caught up. To go a little deeper into this though, a life-controlling problem is anything we turn to on a regular basis in an attempt to find value, self-worth, purpose, or meaning in an unhealthy way. It's natural to try and find our purpose in life, and we all want to feel valued. Because of this, each and every one of us has our own emotional guidance system. This is a system we instinctively use when we feel restless, irritable, or discontent. We want to do something, find a way to stop feeling this way anymore, especially when it's a pattern of discontentment that's persistent. When these feelings arise, we develop strategies to bring us back into a place where we might feel, if not better, at least in a place where we can cope. But it's like a payday loan. This is a short-term solution that can and eventually will plunge us into a repeating cycle, slowly spiraling us into what feels like an inescapable hole. So this is how this works. Step 1. You feel restless, irritable, or discontent like we talked about. So let's go with an example here. We have a husband. He's unhappy with his job. He feels like he's getting nowhere and stuck financially and not really getting anywhere in his life. Step 2. This husband, let's call him Joseph, remembers how he used to enjoy unwinding when he was younger by playing some good old Call of Duty. So he dusts off the old console and starts to play it a little bit after work. This harmlessly grants Joseph some relief and helps him unwind after long days. Step 3. As work grinds at him and he feels more like he's letting his wife down, Joseph puts more and more of his time into this game. He's successful there. He racks up achievements and no-scopes his problems easily, giving him that burst of serotonin. All the while, Joseph is spending less and less time with his family and soon finds his performance at work suffering. Step 4. This starts a downward spiral for Joseph. His boss calls him in for underperforming, which only makes him feel more like a failure, which of course pushes him further into the game. There, he's a champion. There, he is worthy. This leads to step 5. Slowly getting out of control, Joseph becomes defensive when he's called out by his wife for ignoring her and their children, which starts what becomes a series of arguments. Step 6 leads to one of 2 endings. Either Joseph refuses to see what's happening, which leads to a loss of trust and scars in his relationships, both at work and with his family, because they feel like they've lost his respect and they don't feel safe with him. They see Joseph as willing to put his leisure before his relationships. Or Joseph snaps out of it, hopefully stopping the pattern before irreparable harm is done. And this breaks the cycle. This would be the end of it, but there is a 7th step. Joseph swears to put the game down and never let it get between him and what's important ever again. Until the next time he feels irritable, restless, or discontent. Then, his selective memory only remembers the successes, the good things that playing the game gave him. I mean, he does sort of remember the bad things and how things went sort of sideways, but if it starts to become a problem, he'll see it coming this time. Right? When this happens repeatedly, this has become what we call a cycle of life-controlling problems. And the Bible speaks into this. It says in Proverbs 28:26, "Those who trust in their own insight are foolish, but anyone who walks in wisdom is safe." Breaking this down, it means that we are experts in lying to ourselves. We will lie and convince ourselves whatever we want to hear. But if we follow the wisdom of the Holy Spirit instead of listening to our own desires, we will be safe. So take a few minutes to let this sink in. Get out your journal, because of course you do have a journal by now, right? Pause the video and ask yourself these 2 questions. What are you drawn to when you're feeling restless, irritable, or discontent? And as a follow-up question, when you look over this cycle, how does it relate to your life? Welcome back. To break this cycle, ask God to inspire you to develop new and productive habits. You don't need to rely on these life-controlling problems or take things to an unhealthy level. You can put your trust in God and find your acceptance in Him through humility. I hope you found something here. Maybe through this video today it's shed some light on a prevailing issue in your life. I think of each and every one of you as a brother and a sister, and as such, I love you all. Talk to you again next week. You are loved, you are cherished, and may God bless you.